Hello and good afternoon. Welcome back to Bridging the Gap with your host, Megan Bridge. In today's topic, I'm going to be talking about Adnan Syed and whether or not I believe he is guilty or innocent of committing the crime of murder of Hae Min Lee. So, this topic is very conflicting for me because I feel like there's a lot of he said, she said in this specific story, and I think that's what makes it really hard to tell like who's lying and who's telling the truth and to figure out ultimately what really happened, because no one really knows except for the person who killed Hae Min Lee and of course Hae Min Lee, but unfortunately she's not here with us. So I'm going to try and do my best to explain my feelings on the topic. So first off, I think that Adnan Syed could be innocent, but at the same time, I do understand that his story is very off, and it's kind of strange the things that he says, like that he doesn't remember that day at all, and I just noticed when Sarah Cohen is interviewing him, he seems to kind of go off. Like he's very good at defending himself in the sense that he doesn't fully answer her questions. He's always just like, well, I could have done that, but I don't know. I don't remember. And I mean, it's understandable because when you're in high school and somebody asks you months later, like, hey, do you remember what happened on this day? And do you remember where you were? Obviously, you're not really going to remember because it was so long ago. And if it was just like an ordinary day for you, then you probably wouldn't remember exactly what you did and exactly where you were at the same time. But I think the case was very off at the same time because the only evidence that the police really had against Adnan was that a testimony that his friend Jay said that he helped him bury the body of Hae Min Lee. And I think it's really strange that his friend Jay, mind you, his friend Jay is not actually like a friend of Adnan. He's more of an acquaintance. He's just someone that Adnan buys weed from him and that they smoke together sometimes, but they're not really friends. And Jay would say this too. Jay says that they're not even friends also, and Adnan says the same thing. And in one of the articles, I noticed that Jay talks a lot about how much he did not like the Woodlawn High School because he felt like everyone was really separated. He makes a statement that Adnan was a magnet, and magnets are separated from the rest of the school because they're supposed to be smarter and they're supposed to be better at sports and everything. And Jay doesn't like the fact that everyone is separated in the school because it makes him really not really like the school. And this is also kind of weird to me that he would, if he didn't really like the magnets, why would he be hanging out with the magnets? And why would he help Adnan Syed bury a body when he knew it was wrong and he knew that he could potentially go to jail for this? And like these are like just a lot of the questions that I have because I find it really weird. And another thing I want to talk about is that like while I think that Adnan Syed could be innocent, I do believe that him and Jay do know something about the murder. I feel like they could potentially know who actually killed Hae Min Lee, and it could have been like something over drugs. It could have been like a crazy like situation where maybe they were stuck in a situation and she ended up being killed by someone and they were afraid for their life. Like, you just don't know the situation. And it's also, Hae Min Lee was found in Leakin Park, which was a really big park in Baltimore, and there was someone noted in one of the podcasts that someone said, oh, if you went to Leakin Park to bury a dead body of someone that you killed, the chances of you finding another dead body are very high. So it just kind of seems like, maybe she was taking a walk through the park or something and someone killed her. Like, if there were that many dead bodies going on in there, it just seems kind of weird to jump to the conclusion that Adnan Syed was her murderer. And I think that Jay's story is very weird and very, to me, I don't really think his story was truthful at all. Like, I just find his statements very weird. Like, in another article, he says that, he feels like that if he doesn't testify against Adnan, that he's going to be punished by God because he's supposedly this great person and he has this guilty conscience about it. And I think that's really weird at the same time, like, because it seems like he's really freaking out about something, which is understandable, if he helps someone bury a body, but at the same time, like, why would you help someone bury a body if you knew it was wrong? And that's something that I'm going to be focused on in my next segment, and I will be back after this break.